So I'm not really sure if this count as the final deliverable, deliverable. Sorry, English was never really my strong side when I went to school. Pronunciation. Anyway, I wanted to show you how far I have gotten in changing my school. For those of you who don't know, my name is Frederik, and I work at a small Danish boarding school in Denmark. Small, that's a bit under 100 students, and boarding school, as in the students live here. But they're only here for a year, then all of the students go on to another institution, and then we get a new batch of kids in. They're in the age group of 15 to 17. Yeah. And our school, as most schools in Denmark have a student democracy. And ours is slightly bigger than many other schools. That means that where a school in the United States might be like a dictatorship, there's one person in the top who decides everything more or less. Danish school and our school is more like a constitutional monarchy with lots of different committees and sub houses and stuff. It's hard to explain. Yeah, basically the students have the student meeting that makes up most of the rules for the students, and each house where the students live have their own house meeting. The organization of the teachers happens at the teacher meeting. The rest of the practical personnel is organized into the practical meeting, and it goes on. I think you kind of get it. That means that for there to be any change, you have to do it through these meetings, and it can sounds very hard and very complicated. But because these meetings meets once a week, it's actually rather easy and rather fast. Yeah. So anyway, here we have this process-based learning. It's basically, yeah, you know, we have class. They mostly learn by doing projects, but the focus in the projects aren't on the final products. The focus is always at the process. We would call it process focused learning. I don't know if there's a specific English word for it. And we are wanted to bring this process focused learning into the rest of the school. But there has been a number of things we wanted for that to really happen. So when I started this course, I got an idea. Because one of the things is that the physics and chemistry education, natural science as we would call them, have wanted to move more towards STEM. But the lab is quite far away from our workshops where they can build stuff, so it's hard to get the engineering in. And when I say far away, it's like it's at another place in the same city, so like 20 minutes. So we wanted to move the lab into our workshops. At the same time, to do some of these projects, we also have a need to upgrade our equipment. We have some pretty well equipped workshops, but we need more equipment and more weighability for the students. Anyway, I I got this idea to just build a small lab inside one of our workshops because we have some extra space for it, and I thought that would be possible. And I brought it to the different meetings, and people agreed that it sounded like a good idea. Then, of course, we needed to find money, and there's a guy at the school that I know who's good at finding money, and we have worked together before. And he said that he thought he would be able to find those money in different grants if we had a good project. So for the first part, we found the students. No, so for the first part, we gathered all the teachers that needed to use the lab and the workshop, and we asked them, well, what are your needs? What do you need? What is your least demands? And they told us what each of them needed, and it became a pretty long list. We then took that list, and then we went to the group of students that most often use the workshops. That's about, out of 100 students, that's about 20-25 students who really use the workshops a lot. And we told them, well, we want to rebuild them. How do you want them to look? There are these needs that the teachers want to have covered. And now, give us some ideas. So they had 2 hours to get some ideas, and they separated themselves into 2 groups, brainstormed, and then they started off killing off some ideas. Some ideas were more made more concrete. Yeah, sorry, my English again. And then I got the ideas, and I took some of them, removed them because they were maybe not possible to do. Maybe they were impossible to do. Yeah, and I ended up with these. These are basically the idea that was doable. You can see some of them are just like small problems, solutions. Some of them are just small notes about how stuff could be built. But some of them are also like drawings of the entire area. This is one of the workshop rooms, how it could be separated. Then we could have a small lab there. It's a rather big workshop room there where we work in iron, metalworking. There was another that looked very similar. It looked like this, and it basically had most of what we needed. So we made some small changes. You can see the blue here is the headmaster who have written stuff on it. Asked me to make a nice drawing of it, and I made a nice drawing of it. I took the drawing over to the janitor because I'm very stupid. So there is a lot of stuff I don't think about when I make a drawing like that. I don't think on heating. I don't think on, how is a room most effectively cleaned, stuff like that. But that is what the janitor thinks about. So he took my drawing and then he made some changes on it. Then we took the drawing and took it to the local government and asked for what do we call it? Building permit. and that is about where we are now. We have gotten a building permit for it, and we are in the process of getting some money. We estimate that we need about $150 to $200,000 for the entire project. And so far, we have gotten some money for tools, not tools to building the building, but tools to improve the workshops. We have been able to get, I think that must be $15,000. To get some more power tools that can be available for the students in their spare time, to get some 3D printers, stuff like that. Some computers that can be put up with special programs, so they don't always have to install all the programs on their own computers. Some like Mindstorm, stuff like that. But we have just gotten the building permit, and now we're going to see if we can get money for building the lab in the workshop. Either that, or because while we did this thing, the janitor showed me that we actually have an area that very close to the workshop that we could also try to rebuild, and it would be slightly more expensive, but it would give us some ability to build more rooms and improve some stuff in the future. So we are actually going to, as far as I know, we are not quite sure yet, because we're still working with the other proposal. But in a few weeks' time, when we're going to send the proposals for money, we're going to send in two proposals. One proposal, that's this proposal, more or less like this, slightly more beautiful drawn, and more stuff added, and that will be the cheaper proposal, and then a slightly more expensive proposal that we are still working on making sure that everything fits. Yeah, that's basically what I have done. We have also I've also brought some of the process-based learning into my physics and chemistry classes, but that's another talk. I just wanted to show this off.